Second-year edge, Derick Hall, might be slowly turning into a monster. A toolsy player who had a very quiet first year, there wasn't a heavy amount of expectation on Hall coming into this season. There was hope. General Manager John Schneider, in his well over 14 years in serving in that capacity for the team, has an outstanding track record when taking edges in either the first or second round, with perhaps his only real notable miss being Darrell Taylor. In Hall, this is the third highest edge Schneider has ever taken in Seattle, and for good reason. He has that grown man strength to walk back any tackle into the pocket like he was making a moonwalk, and the explosive power to knock any man on their ass on a football field. Through training camp and the first 2 preseason games, Hall indeed does look ready to bloom. He has 2 sacks and 6 hurries, already doubling his numbers from the prior preseason period of last year. He's been better against the run, well graded overall by PFF, coming out of this last contest as the highest rated defender on the field for your Hawks. But don't take my word for it. Let's dive on into the tape and let me show you why I truly do believe that Derick Hall is getting set to take a major leap forward in 2024. Derick Hall is a big edge in this day and age, and he has Hulk hands. His development has been a process of figuring out how to use those heavy hands, how to become a technician. Right out of the gate in the Chargers game, we see him mauling the tackles in the run game, setting the edge, and then squeezing the hole shut. Last year, Hall struggled against the run, but this year, so far, has looked mostly night and day different. First up here, Hall meets Joe Alt, the top 5 pick in this last draft, on the move. Hall bounces off the block, locates the ball carrier, and finishes with a glancing hit stick shot on the back, knocking them out of bounds. You see on this play the recognition and awareness developing, and the same on this very next play. Read option, out of shotgun. Hall is responsible for the edge and the quarterback. If the quarterback keeps it on the option, Hall must not leave the edge open or it's a good gain. He reads the handoff, scrapes down the line of scrimmage, and makes the tackle. The quarterback keeper aspect of this play is supposed to keep the unblocked edge fooled and hesitant. Not Hall, not here. Hall's the strong side edge on this play, and it's another read option out of shotgun. He's not responsible for the quarterback here. That responsibility goes to the other edge, Nelson Caesar. This allows Hall to attack down the line of scrimmage post-snap and completely muck up the play. As a common theme here, more than being fast or strong, he's using his better honed instincts. The growth of a second-year player. Against Tennessee, most of the run plays when Hall was on the field were run away from him. Here's one of the few times they came right after him on the pitch play. Hall takes on the double team without losing much ground and then fends off one of the remaining tight ends while still making the tackle. Reads it, gets up the field, attacks the blocks, disengages, makes the tackle. You feel a bit of his bullied nature on these plays, fighting 2 guys off at once and doing so relatively easily. This is a fun rep. The Titans are running pre-snap motion with the tight end, who will then try to wham block Derick Hall. The tight end is moving at the snap, and he has the advantage over Hall here, who has to start from a standstill. Hall crumbles him like a can of Coke, throwing his advantage right out the window, and then runs over the pulling guard in berserker mode, still helping out on the tackle of the running back in the A-gap. As a pass rusher this preseason, it's been just as impressive. The Chargers quarterbacks were working to get the ball out of their hand as fast as possible throughout the game. Derrick would get quick pressure and just get a hand on the quarterback as they were playing hot potato in the pocket. All of these clips from the Charger game as a pass rusher, you feel how much of a physical handful he can be for tackles. When he gets his hands on them, they go backwards, or in the case of Joe Alt here, just turned into a tackle dummy sled and made to look silly. The sack he got in the Chargers game was aided by Byron Murphy's near miss, but Hall was also the one to get initial pressure on the drop back, forcing the quarterback up into Murphy. And when Byron wasn't able to bring him down, Hall hustled back to his feet to make the play. He notched an early sack in the Titans game, again flashing that strength and power. The tackle lands his punch soundly here, dead center to Hall's chest. Hall gets his right hand out too far, and his left hand is too late to strike. He should be utterly neutralized here. Instead, he loads up the left hand, gets the left tackle up on his one foot, and then resets his right hand and throws him out of the way, jumping on Malik Willis for the sack. He has a unique gift to have the strength to throw a man with one arm, and his signature move is the long arm bull rush, or as I like to call it, the long arm of the law. So the left tackle for the Titans is getting a wee bit nervous. He's got to load up for that power every snap, and he knows he's not as strong as Derick Hall. And so he's starting a false start here. The next play, Hall comes back and gets some really nice push again. The guard must have seen how the left tackle was shitting his pants in the huddle and jumping off sides, because he comes over here and saves the day on this play. Another play here where Hall walks the poor left tackle back like he's on a greased up slip and slide. Hall was strong coming out in the draft, and it appears he's only built on that great strength this offseason. There's no re-anchoring from the left tackle here. If the quarterback hadn't gotten the ball out so fast, Hall would have been right on top of him. I'm not saying that we need to rename Lumen Field to the Halls of Justice just yet. We won't learn anything for sure in regards to Derick Hall until we truly do get to the first game of the season. Last year, though, right about this time, I was making the very strong argument that based on what we were hearing from training camp and seeing from preseason action, that Boye Mafe was getting set to pop. I'm feeling much of the same way about Derick Hall this year. And if he can take that Boye Mafe leap forward this season, the recent run game woes, the missing edge depth, will have a monster to help turn the tide. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget, go Hawks.